Sairam students, let's begin with the political science, class 8, chapter number 3. Why do we need a parliament? Before going ahead, let's understand why do we need a parliament. See, we know that India is the world's largest democracy. But what does this mean? It means that citizens of the country choose their own representatives who form the government. So these representatives form a legislative body known as the parliament. Now that only let us learn about more about the Parliament of India. In this chapter we are going to learn about that. Now before starting with the main topic, let's go through the content of our topic. In this we have the introduction first, then why should people decide? The people means they are playing the key role in this decision making. So that is like we have to understand why people have been considered as the most important there. And then people and their representatives, what they are called as, that also we are going to learn. Then the role of the parliament, and then in the next topic, who are the people in parliament. So these are the main topics that we'll be covering in this chapter. Let's begin with the introduction here. See, we in India pride ourselves on being a democracy. I hope you all know the meaning of democracy very well, right? Democracy is what? Government for the people, of the people, and by the people. That is only known as a democratic form of government, right? Then, here we will try and understand the relation between the ideas of participation in decision making and the need for all democratic governments to have the consent of their citizens. So, it is these elements that together make us a democracy. I hope you understood the meaning of democracy again one more time now. And this is best expressed in the institution of the parliament. Now here the image of the parliament has been given to you. See, you can see like it has been shown in that way. The people are the main holders there, right? They are the elected representatives. They are the main person. In the image it has been shown in that way. They play the key factor in the working of the parliament. Now, how the parliament enables citizens of India to participate in decision making and control the government. That we will learn in this now. Thus, making it the most important symbol of Indian democracy and a key feature of the constitution. As citizens of a great country, we all have a duty to abide by the law and the fundamental principles of our constitution. And it is this constitution that upholds the democratic values that our forefathers struggled to establish. So, before we attained independence from the colonial rule, only a few select people had the fundamental rights to vote. People couldn't voice their opinions freely. That we'll be learning in the next topic. So it means parliament is a very important for Indian citizens. Why? Because it gives them the opportunity to participate in decision making and control of government. Parliament is most important symbol of Indian democracy and a key feature of the constitution. So, why should people decide? Now, the next topic in this, after the introduction, will begin with why should people decide? See, India, as we know, became independent on 15th August 1947, right? Preceding this was a long and a difficult struggle in which many sections of society participated. People from various backgrounds joined the struggle and they were inspired by the ideas of freedom, equality, and participation in decision making. Under colonial rule, the people had lived in fear of the British government and did not agree with many of the decisions that they took. See, you have already learned in the history about this, right? The colonial rule. People cannot protest against them, right? Whatever the British government used to impose, or whatever they will say, the people were They have to follow that only. They were not be going against that, right? They couldn't fight against that. But then slowly and gradually we could see that we got the independence. But they faced grave danger if they tried to criticize these decisions. We have learned that also. If anybody has tried to criticize, if they are not following the decisions taken by the British government, the punishments that the Indians faced at that time. So the freedom movement changed the situation, right? This is what you all have learned in that. But the freedom movement changed. Yeah, this is okay. Then the nationalists begin to openly criticize the British government and make demands. As far back as 1885, the Indian National Congress demanded that there be elected members in the legislature with a right to discuss the budget and ask questions. Now, you all know very well about the Indian National Congress, right? The Indian National Congress, it is often called as a Congress Party also, or simply Congress is a political party in India that was founded in 1885. It was the first modern nationalist movement to emerge in the British Empire in Asia and Africa. Even that Indian National Congress demanded that there should be the elected members in the legislature with the right to discuss the budget and ask questions. The Government of India Act 1909, then the Government of India Act 1909, it allowed for some elected representatives, not for everyone but for some elected representatives. While these early legislatures under the British government were in response to the growing demands of the nationalists, they did not allow for all adults to vote, nor could people participate in decision making. This is what in Government of India Act 1909. Everybody was not allowed. Only some elected representatives were allowed to vote. So these early legislature under the British government were in response of growing demands, but they did not allow for all adults to vote. Then with the coming of independence, what happened then? After the experience of the colonial rule as well as the participation of different people in the struggle for freedom, left little doubt in the minds of the nationalists that all persons in independent India would be able to participate in decision making. Yes, but then that question was answered with the coming of independence, correct? After the independence, we were going to be the citizens of free country, correct? This is what this did not mean, but after getting the freedom also, after becoming the citizens of free country also, this did not mean that the government could do what it felt like. It meant that the government had to be sensitive to people's needs and demands. See, with the coming of independence, we became citizens of free country. Then in independent India, the government could not do what it felt like, but it had to be sensitive to the people's needs and demands. The dreams and aspirations of the freedom struggle were made concrete in the Constitution of Independent India that laid down the principle of universal adult franchise. I hope you all know very well about the universal adult franchise. What is that? That is, all adult citizens above the age of 18, they have the right to vote. It laid down the principle of universal adult franchise. What does it mean? That all adult citizens of the country have right to vote. So UAF means Universal Adult Franchise. According to this, what everyone, that is every citizen of India of 18 years and above, irrespective of caste, color, creed or religion, has a right to vote. This is also stated in our Constitution of India. Every citizen of India has a right to vote. Now here you can see the image has been given to you. The above photo shows a voter reading instructions on how to use an electronic voting machine. Electronic voting machine is EVM. What is that EVM actually? Electronic voting machines. These were used actually, it's a standard means of conducting elections using electronic voting machines, that is called as EVMs in India. The use of EVMs and electronic voting was developed and tested by the state owned Electronics Corporation of India and Bharat Electronics in the year 1990s, but they were introduced in Indian elections between 1998 and 2001 in a phased manner. The electronic voting machines have been used in all general and state assembly elections of India since year 2004. So EVMs were used throughout the country for the first time in 2004 general election. Yeah, the image of that EVM machine, that is electronic voting machine, has been given to you. But for what it has been started using, why the EVM was used? The main purpose was the use of EVMs in 2004 saved around 1,50,000 trees, which would have been cut to produce about 8,000 tons of paper for printing the ballot papers. So, before using the electronic voting machines, the ballot papers were used. In that, the stationery, the paper was used. Uh, so after using the EVM, after switching it to EVM, that is electronic voting machine, that much of that 1,50,000 trees could be saved. Because of that, the paper that was wasted for the ballot, that has been saved here. So let's have the quick recap of what we have learned in the today's topic. First, we just started with the introduction. In that, we learnt about that our India, we as the Indian, we take a pride of being a democratic country, right? And that we just revise the meaning of democracy. What is a democratic form of government? That is government for the people, of the people, and by the people. It means elected representatives of the government. That is a democratic form of government. Then further we learnt about parliament is very important for Indian citizens because it gives them the opportunity to participate in decision making and control of government, right? Parliament is most important symbol of Indian democracy and it's a key feature of the constitution. Then we learnt about why should people decide. In that we saw the preceding independence was a long and difficult struggle period in which all sections of society participated, correct? People from various backgrounds joined the struggle. They were inspired by the idea of what? Freedom, equality, and participation in decision making. So during the colonial rule, we have seen the people lived in fear of the British government. They did not agree with their numerous decisions, but they faced numerous problems if they tried to criticize them, correct? But what gave them the relief from all this numerous problems? The freedom movement changed the situation for each and every person, each and every citizen of our country, right? The nationalists began to criticize the British government and make demands. So finally, in 1885, the Indian National Congress demanded elected members in the legislature with the right to discuss the budget and ask questions. Then the Government Act of India. The Government of India Act, that was of the year 1909. It allowed for some elected representatives. Then slowly, then we saw there it was the response was the growing demands of the nationalists, but they were not allowing each and every adult to vote there. But then what happened when we became independent? After independence, the nationalists were of the opinion that as different people participated in the freedom struggle, so all of them should be able to participate in making decisions also. So with the coming of independence, we became citizens of free country. And in independent India, the government could not do what it felt like, but it has to take into consideration the sensitivities of the people's needs and demands. Then that is the reason it laid down the principle of universal adult franchise. What was that? We have learned that all adult citizens of the country have the right to vote there. Then after that we learnt about the EVMs that were used for voting, correct? EVMs, that is called a EVM, is what is the full form of it? Electronic voting machine. And these were used for the first time in 2004 throughout the country, and their usage saved 1,50,000 trees which would have been cut to produce 8,000 tons of paper for ballots. So this is what we have learnt in the today's session. Still more topics are there that we'll be learning in the next presentation. Till then, take care.